5 years ago, I started my first home service business at 24 years old. At 29, my businesses combined do over $1 million in top line revenue and operate at about 30% margins. This is a top 10 list of every hard lesson I learned along the way and things that I wish I did differently from the start. Now, I'm not your guru. I don't pretend to be. This is the lessons that I learned the hard way that I can hopefully convey to you, and hopefully you can avoid some of the things that I didn't avoid in the process. Number one, the hardest worker is rarely the richest. For the first 3 years of having my businesses, I equated the success of my day, whether my day was good or not, based on how hard I worked. So when I was doing junk removal and I was doing 8 to 10 hours of manual labor, I would get home and the second my head would hit the pillow, I would instantly fall asleep. And I equated that to a good day. What I've learned is, yes, that's hard work objectively, but it's not high leverage work. So once I understood the value of finding good employees and good systems in the business and scaling up to the point where I wasn't the one in the truck and I had employees, managers, and office staff that were actually doing the work for me, the businesses became more profitable, the revenue numbers got bigger, and everybody got paid. And so now the businesses run when I'm not even in the day-to-day. I could go on vacation right now and the businesses would still operate. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are not working harder than the guy on the oil rig right now. They're leveraging their time and leveraging other people's time to make the business exponentially grow. It's a really hard thing to understand mentally in the early stages of owning a business. At least it was for me. Like, I just thought I could white knuckle my way to success in the business. But if you look at, like, if your goal as a business owner is to eventually sell your business or have a bunch of employees and managers, and you're still in the day-to-day right now, you need to understand that the way you price jobs needs to be with that future business in mind. So if you're going around being the $2 chuck at every job, how are you ever going to be able to pay an employee? A good lesson in this is right now, if you look at your business, let's say you work 40 to 50 hours a week in your business, and you can't afford to hire an employee, even while working 40 to 50 hours a week in your business, you're too cheap. And that's a brutal and harsh reality to some people, but that's the reality. If you're filling your week in 40 to 50 hours and you still don't have money left over to hire your first employee, your pricing is too low. Lesson number 2, whoever can outspend their competition to acquire a customer wins. That's a quote from the OG of marketing, Dan Kennedy. In my own business, when I was talking to boomers who had been in business in 20, 30 years, they would brag about how they grew their entire business off of word of mouth and bootstrapping. To be honest with you, in 2025 and beyond, that's not the case anymore. No one is growing a business off of word of mouth. And if they are, it's taking them 10 years to get the business even anywhere substantial. Now, there's exceptions to every rule, but for the most part, this is true. There's more competition in home services than ever before. This is because of the internet, the barrier of entry, all the YouTube content that allows people to pick up any trade and pretty much start tomorrow with a how-to manual for free on the internet. You have to leverage marketing and you have to leverage systems to actually grow. If I grew the Christmas light business just off of word of mouth, we would maybe be at 100K a year now 5 years later. We're at $800,000 a year now, working only 2 months, and I acquired the majority of our customers off of ads in the first 2-3 years. The organic and the word of mouth didn't become a substantial part of our business until year 4 and 5. Eventually, when you keep hammering out your systems, you keep making your product better than your competition, you keep hammering your Google reviews, you keep hammering everything else, eventually the market starts to talk and sing your praises for you. But you don't have that luxury early in the business, so you have to be so much better than the competition at marketing. This means running Facebook ads, this means running Google ads, this means optimizing the Google business page, door knocking if you're brand new and you don't have a lot of cash. You have to commit to these things early in the business because you don't have the luxury that a lot of your established competition does, where their phone rings when they wake up in the morning because they've been in business for so long. Number 3, I cannot outmarket bad speed to lead. Speed to lead is the amount of time it takes for you or your business to reach back out to an inbound lead. The Harvard Business Review did a study, and the amount of businesses that get back to their leads in less than 5 minutes had a 68% higher close rate of those leads. And the businesses that got back to people within a minute got a 300% plus increase compared to the competition. Break it down and it makes a lot of sense in a home service business. If I'm a homeowner and I'm looking up window cleaning near me, and you show up on the top of the list and I submit a form to you, what is the next progression I'm going to do a lot of the time as a consumer? I'm gonna go to the second company and fill out a form there. And then I'm gonna go to the third and fill out a form or call them. What happens when you get your systems dialed in and you get your response time in less than a minute is you stop them a lot of the time from reaching out to the competition. So again, I don't care if you have Apple's marketing team and Alex Hormozy running your ads together. If your speed to leads sucks and you're taking hours to get back to people, every minute that goes by is another minute for your competition to get to your customer or your customer to reach back out to your competition. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't like to be the cheap guy in my market. So I like to give my customers and my prospects what they want fast, because the customers that use us a lot of the time are the people that value things outside of just the cost of the service we're providing. That's the speed we get out there, the brand we have on site, our communication, us showing up on time, the quality of our work. Most of the customers that you want, price isn't even their top 3 buying decisions. Number 4, hustle and grit get you to 100 to 200K a year. Sales and marketing get you to 500K plus a year. Systems get you to $1 million plus. That has been universal law in every single one of my businesses. Valley Christmas lights, perfect example. I got to 100K basically doing everything myself with a few helpers letting us do the installs. When we got to 500K, that was when I outsourced sales and operations. So I had salespeople going and doing the sales appointments for me, and I was paying them a commission. I had people doing the installs for me, operations staff, installers, the whole shebang. And now last year we did $808,000 in sales over a 2-month period, and this year we're on pace to do 1.1 million in just that business. The biggest thing that we changed is systems, systems, systems. Everything from the CRM, assigning it to salespeople automatically, the speed we get back to people, the systems we have on the operations staff at scale. We have 3 trucks on the road now. Now we have 4 going into the next season. You cannot do that off of just texting staff and saying, oh, make sure you remember this, or make sure you do this in the house. You have to have systems, checklists, all that, SOPs in your business for marketing, SOPs in your business for sales, SOPs in your business when something goes wrong. And all of those systems and processes are how that business is equipped to push the $1 million plus revenue mark. Number 5, obsessing over your local competition is a loser's game. I have never seen a company in my market that does stuff like leave 1-star reviews on competitors' page, steal yard signs from competition, or anything like that has built anything substantial. That is a loser's game. Our businesses, from a sales and marketing perspective, don't care what the competition's doing. It doesn't mean I don't pay attention, but we don't care what the competition is doing because we're testing new ads, we're testing new processes, we're testing new sales scripts, we're testing new branding plays, all of these things so fast and so often that I don't care what the competition's doing. And I can tell you with confidence, the guys in my market that copy me are not bigger than me. I can see the stuff that I'm doing that my competition is copying. My customers will send me screenshots of my competition just shitting on us for whatever reason, and they still end up going with us with a higher quote. Like, I see all of that stuff. It's tempting as a business owner because we're all competitive beings. That's why we're in the entrepreneurship world, to look at the competition as the enemy and try to crush them. I crush them off of performance. I don't crush them off of stooping to bad competition's level. And that, 1, will help you sleep better at night because you're not operating your business like an asshole. But 2, it'll help you move your business forward because you're focusing on the stuff that matters. That's the stuff that you have going on under your own roof. Number 6. If it's just as easy for the competition to turn on an advertising source as it is for you to, you do not have a strategic advantage. Think about the lead gen sites like Thumbtack, Angie's, all of these other ones. The competition can start and fire up those tomorrow. So what does that mean for you? You don't have a strategic advantage. There's no skill gap to running those compared to the competition. But if you take something like Facebook ads, the amount of time you pour into your Google business page, how much reviews you get, how many photo reviews you get, do you have your services and your updates and your products listed on your Google page? All of those things, if you look at the competition, are a lot of things the competition isn't doing. So those are things that you can have a strategic advantage on against your competition. I like to equate it to like Star Wars Episode 3 for my nerds out there, when Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting each other, and Obi-Wan says, "Anakin, you can't win, I have the high ground." What I try to do in my business is find the strategic advantages where I have an unfair advantage against the competition. In my business, I am better than all of the competition locally at running Facebook ads. I think that our product and the way we pay attention to detail on site is better than the majority of the competition. That's why our customers come back. That's why our close rates are higher. That's why we can charge more than everybody else, because our customers show us other quotes all the time that were cheaper than us, and they still end up going with us because we have a strategic advantage in a lot of the other things that we do in the business. So find those things where you have an unfair advantage and pour gasoline on that fire until it breaks. And number 7, once you have a profitable paid marketing source, pour into it until something breaks. This is a really common thing that I did in year 2 and 3 is I played scared. I would run Facebook ads and I would spend $40 a day and I would be getting, a 10x return on ad spend, but it was still scary because I was spending $280 a week or $1,100 something a month. And I was scared because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm spending so much money, but it was penciling and it was profitable. Now, when I start a campaign at $100 a day. And if that's profitable, I will scale it the next week to $150 a day. If I'm still getting a profitable return, I will scale it to $200 a day. At our peak in the Christmas light business, we spent $10,000 something on Facebook in a 2-month period. Most people hear that and are terrified. Like, you spent $5,000 on one marketing avenue in a month? And I'm like, yeah. I spent $5,000 on that marketing avenue that month, and I got back $50,000 plus. In just Facebook ads in that business, we spent $10,800 something and got back like $115,000 in sales. If I came to you and said, hey, if you give me $10, I'll give you $100 in sales back, would you do it? It's the same equation at $20 a day to get $200 back. Whatever your return on ad spend is, scale it until something breaks. And this is what's gonna break. Either your return on ad spend is gonna dwindle and you've capped out that territory with that ad campaign, or your operations are going to not be able to handle the output that you're getting from that marketing source. So you have one of two choices. You can either stay there and not grow, or you can go fix that part of your business and scale it even further. So if you're an operations guy, you're like, I have too many leads that I know what to do with, and your schedule's booked out for 2 weeks, then the decision is really simple. Go get a second crew, train them up, and then scale the ad spend even further. Number 8, one competent and trustworthy employee is worth 20 bad ones. I can tell you this with confidence. Jack, my director of operations for 3 years, and now he co-owns one of my brands with me. My businesses would not exist today if I did not have Jack, period. My brother passed away during our 3rd season of Christmas Lights in the middle of October, so the peak of our season. Jack was a senior in college doing finals, and he was working 60, 70, and sometimes 80-hour weeks during that season without me asking him to, because he knew that there was no choice because I was obviously busy doing something. The business was about to go bankrupt between year 2 and 3, and Jack saved it. I am forever indebted to one of my first employees ever, saved my business, and in return, I will always pour into him and always make sure that the shake that he gets in the business is well beyond fair, because I know where we'd be at without him. If you can find one person like that in your business, it is worth 20 plus time clock punchers who want to get in at 9 and want to get out at 5 and don't care if the business grows. Now, the trade-off to that is, even at the absolute worst in the businesses, I always made sure to take care of Jack. You cannot pay your employees peanuts and expect them to care about your business as much as you do. You have to pour into them in learning. You have to pour into them financially. You have to ask these employees what they want out of this job more than just dollar signs and availability. When you find out what employees actually care about and how you can get the employees to buy into the vision, but also acknowledge that if they don't have equity, they're probably not gonna care as much as you do. So you have to find other things to motivate them and find the things that make them tick. And in return, they grow the business way farther than if you try to just white knuckle everything yourself. Number 9, health is wealth. I know this sounds corny, and I know this, oh, here comes the gym bro, entrepreneur, Andy Elliott, David Goggins stuff. My first 3 years of running the businesses, I was morbidly obese. I think a big factor into me not showing up as an entrepreneur in the way I could have was how little care I was taking care of my health. In the first year of my business, I was vaping, I drank a decent amount, I was about 50, 60 pounds overweight. I walked around looking like an Asian pear. Skinny up top, big wide bottom, like I look like Squidward when he ate all the Krabby Patties in that SpongeBob episode. That's how I look like. I was not able to show up every day when my feet hit the ground getting out of bed for the business that I needed to, because I wasn't taking care of my health. I was tired all the time. I was lethargic all the time. You can go back and look at the junk removal videos from 5 years ago on this channel, and you can see that my face, everything looks entirely different. When I took care of my health and I got dialed in with that, the businesses performed better. And like, not to sound overly foo-foo and douchey, but like, I was more confident. So when I was going into sales opportunities with larger commercial jobs, when I was going and trying to hire employees, was I received better as an owner? Did they perceive me as a leader? Honestly, when you don't have your health together, a lot of people don't respect that. So to me, it's like, if you can't take care of yourself personally and in your daily habits, how could you expect to take care of the business and make sure that you're steering the ship the right direction? A lot of employees think that way. And number 10, this is a quote from Scott Galloway. Follow your passions professionally is what old rich people tell young poor people in life advice. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I am not passionate about hanging Christmas lights. I'm not passionate about picking up people's trash 2 years ago. I'm not passionate about running an online business. What I am passionate about is the stuff that comes from running those businesses. My pet peeve with entrepreneur stories when they say, I started this business to make a difference. I started this business because I wanted to. No, you started the business to make money. You could have had other intent, everything else. It can be both. But what I don't like is when people say they just started a business for a passion project. If you wanted to do a passion project, you'd be volunteering at a soup kitchen or everything else. It's okay to have a business that is profitable and pours into the community and your employees. So for me, I started my businesses to make money. What it's turned into for me is I employ my friends. I've employed my friends' wives. I've become a job creator in the community. The businesses that I created help put food on people I love's tables. So what started as an income generator turned into a passion project in another way. I'm 100 times more philanthropic now that my businesses are working and everything else than I was when I was a sales bro in my early 20s. And I made more money as a sales bro than I did the first 3 years of having these businesses. Yet I was still in a frame and everything else because my cup was overflowing personally, doing all of those different things and not just looking at numbers on a screen trying to make more money than everyone else. Profit and revenue is #1 in the priority list, but a very close second, I would even say it's 1A and 1B, is all of the other things that come with running the company, the game of it, the competition of it, the pouring into the employees. It doesn't have to just be your passion. Like, I love sports. I got an internship at the Diamondbacks in college that was an extremely sought after internship. About 3 weeks into it, I looked around and was like, this is the most miserable career path I have ever seen. These people are working 60-hour weeks. Their passion for the sport was gone in about 2 years, and they all hated their lives. I looked at that in my 20s and went, okay, following your passion probably isn't the way to go. I think you can find passion and meaning in the day-to-day and create purpose for yourself within the businesses. It's not just being passionate about the trade you're doing. It's being passionate about what that creates for you, your community, and your employees. And bonus, I know I said 10, but I'm gonna throw in 11. For anyone who has employees and you already have an existing business, secret shop yourself. If you have systems and processes, you have an inbound call team, you have a sales team, you have an operations team, go secret shop your own business. So last Christmas season, one of my buddies wanted a quote for his house. And so I was like, hold on. I'm gonna come over, we're gonna submit your form in my system, and we're gonna watch my entire process of my business from start to finish play out, and then we'll see how it goes. So I was with him, I submitted the form on our website just like all of our customers would do, and within an instant, Natalie, who's in my office, got connected with him and immediately started pre-qualifying him on the phone and setting up the in-person appointment to do the quote. Then my sales guys came in, confirmed the appointment, went out there, did the full process exactly how we dial it in, and then got him his quote. And then their follow-up was perfect, everything else was perfect. The only thing that I found by secret shopping us is one of our automations was actually broken. And I didn't even know that until I secret shopped my own business. So if you've had these systems and these different processes, CRMs, everything else that you've set up, it's a worthwhile exercise to go do that from time to time, because you'll be shocked at how many things you see in your business that you're completely overlooking while managing a bunch of different people. So I hope you guys valued this list. To close, I don't think I'm a guru. I haven't had a $100 million exit. I don't think what I'm saying is gospel. Like I share here and like I share on my Instagram and within the Home Service Accelerator community, this is just what's worked for me up until this point. This is what's worked for me up until $1 million. This has worked for me up until $1.5 million in all the portfolios combined. I'm not saying that you have to take every single thing I say in this video and implement it as gospel, but if it can help you maybe spark an idea or move your business along in the right direction, that's a win for me. Now, if you want a little bit more help in the marketing, sales, operations, and every side of the business, we have a community called the Home Service Accelerator. It's linked in the description of this bio. We come in, teach you or your staff how to run your own Facebook ads without an agency, set up your branding, and optimize your Google business pages to make you rank top 3 in all of your desired areas pretty quick. Click that link in the description if you want a little bit more hands-on help and join the community of right now, there's like 250 plus home service business owners as we're recording this in that group that are all getting better because they're communicating with each other and implementing the systems that have worked for me up until this point. So we'll see you there.